Title: Double Trouble in Paradise. Jason, a 35-year-old Canadian expat, had been living in Chiang Mai for almost 3 years. He originally came to Thailand for a 1 month vacation to reset his life after a divorce back in Vancouver. But the food, weather, and laid back vibe of northern Thailand seduced him into staying longer, much longer. By the end of his second year, Jason had settled into a small but modern condo just outside the city center. He taught English online a few hours a day, made decent passive income from a YouTube travel channel, and spent his evenings riding a scooter into town or hanging out at quiet coffee shops with other expats. And then came Knock and May. He met Knock, 23, at a rooftop bar near the old city. She was cheeky, direct, and had a laugh that filled the room. She worked part-time at a cafe and studied business management at a local university. A few weeks later, May 22nd, was introduced through mutual friends, quieter, more reserved, but just as striking in appearance. She had worked briefly at a massage shop and was saving money to go back to school. One thing led to another, and after a few blurry weekends of drinks, karaoke, and motorbike road trips, Jason found himself in a situation he hadn't exactly planned for. Both girls were now living in his condo. At first, it felt like winning the lottery. The girls cooked. They cleaned. They doted on him with a mix of affection, playful jealousy, and genuine warmth. Mornings were spent sipping Thai iced coffee on the balcony. Nights were full of affection, laughter, and shared conversations in a mix of English, Thai, and broken sentences that somehow always made sense. Sex was frequent, passionate, and, when everyone got along, amazing. But over time, the cracks began to show. Jealousy came first. May started to feel left out whenever Jason and Knock were more physically affectionate in public. Knock, in turn, became irritated whenever Jason and May stayed up late watching Netflix alone. They never fought directly, but the tension simmered, passive-aggressive comments turned into cold shoulders, and sudden visits to Mom's village that lasted days. Jason tried to treat them equally. If he bought a gift for one, he bought a gift for the other. But it never quite felt balanced. Each girl had a different love language. May wanted quality time, while Knock expected big gestures. Trying to please both began to feel like a full-time job. Money became another issue. Though neither girl asked for much at the beginning, Jason found himself paying for more and more. Small things: mobile top-ups, new sandals, monthly hair appointments. Then came the family requests. Knock's uncle was sick. May's sister needed help with school fees. Jason didn't mind helping. He made more money than they ever could. But he started to feel like a walking ATM with a foreign passport. Privacy disappeared. The one-bedroom condo that once felt cozy now felt cramped. There was no space for alone time. If Jason needed to record videos for his YouTube channel, he'd have to ask them to keep quiet, or worse, go out. Eventually, he rented a second apartment nearby, just to use as a quiet workspace. The benefits, however, were still real. There was always someone to talk to, someone to eat with, someone to make him feel appreciated. The girls, despite their differences, genuinely cared for him. On good days, they all laughed together like best friends on an extended vacation. He never felt lonely. He never came home to an empty room. And he learned more about Thai culture, family values, Buddhism, superstition, and village life than he ever would have on his own. The biggest lesson: love in Thailand was different. It was less about commitment in the Western sense, and more about the feeling of connection. But maintaining two of those connections, at the same time under the same roof, proved more than challenging. It was exhausting. Eventually, Jason made a decision. After an emotional but respectful conversation, May moved out. They stayed in touch, occasionally met for lunch, but the romance faded. Knox stayed. The relationship stabilized, became more peaceful, less chaotic, more real. Jason sometimes missed the energy of those early months, the feeling of being desired, admired, even fought over. But he also appreciated the quiet mornings again, the balance. He didn't regret the experience. In fact, he'd say it taught him more about relationships than his entire marriage had. But if you asked him whether he'd do it again, He'd probably just laugh, take a sip of his iced coffee, and say, "Once was enough." If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.